Chapter 1. The Lost Key. In a small, quiet town, there lived a 12-year-old boy named Oliver. He loved adventure and always looked for mysteries to solve. One day, while helping his grandmother clean the attic, he found an old wooden chest covered in dust. It had a picture of a big oak tree carved on it, but the chest was locked and there was no key. "Grandma, what is inside this chest?" Oliver asked. His grandmother looked at it and sighed. "This belonged to my father, but the key was lost many years ago. No one has opened it since." Oliver's eyes lit up. A lost key? A locked chest? He wanted to find the key. That night, Oliver couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the chest. So, the next morning, he started searching for the key. First, he looked around the attic. He checked old boxes and drawers, but he found nothing. Then, he thought about the oak tree on the chest. Maybe the key was hidden near a real oak tree? Oliver ran outside to the big oak tree in the backyard. He dug around the roots, but found nothing. He felt disappointed. Just then, his grandmother called him for lunch. "Oliver, what are you doing outside?" "I'm looking for the lost key," he said. His grandmother smiled. "Oh, I forgot about that key. But you know, my father loved puzzles. He always left clues." A clue? Oliver became excited. He looked around the house, thinking about where his great-grandfather might have hidden a key. Then, he saw an old clock on the wall. His great-grandfather had made it himself. He checked the back of the clock and saw tiny words carved there. "Time holds the key to secrets." Time? Oliver carefully turned the hands of the clock. When they pointed to midnight, there was a small click. A secret compartment opened at the back of the clock. Inside was an old brass key. Oliver ran to the attic. His hands shook as he put the key into the lock. He turned it, and click! The chest opened. Inside, he found old letters, photographs, and a leather journal. The journal had stories, maps, and notes about adventures his great-grandfather had been on. On the last page, Oliver read a message. "To the one who finds this, adventure is not in the destination, but in the journey. Keep looking, keep learning, and never stop being curious." Oliver smiled. He hadn't just opened a chest, he had found a love for adventure. And so, his greatest journey had just begun. Chapter 2. The Hidden Treasure. Lily and Sam were siblings who lived in a quiet coastal village called Seabreeze Cove. The village was small, with only a few houses, a little marketplace, and a lighthouse that stood tall by the shore. The lighthouse was old, built many years ago by the fishermen to guide their boats safely home. Lily, who was 10 years old, and Sam, who was 7, loved playing near the lighthouse every evening. They would collect seashells, chase the waves, and build sandcastles. One day, as they were playing near the rocky shore, Sam noticed something unusual. "Lily, look over here!" he called out excitedly. Lily ran to see what Sam had found. Half buried in the sand was a glass bottle with a cork sealing its top. The bottle looked very old, covered in dirt and seaweed. Sam carefully picked it up and shook it. Inside, they could see a piece of paper rolled up. "It's a message in a bottle," Lily exclaimed, her eyes wide with excitement. Sam tried to pull out the paper, but it was stuck. "Let's take it home and open it there," he suggested. The two children ran back home as fast as they could. Their house was a small, cozy cottage with a white picket fence and a little garden filled with colorful flowers. Their mother was inside, cooking dinner, while their father was fixing a fishing net. "We found something amazing!" Lily shouted as they entered the house. Their father chuckled. "Another seashell collection?" "No, even better," Sam said, holding up the bottle. Their mother wiped her hands and looked at it. "It looks very old," she said. "Be careful when you open it." Lily carefully pulled out the cork, and Sam reached in to take out the paper. The parchment was yellowish, with rough edges, and looked like it had been in the sea for a very long time. Lily unrolled it slowly, and their mouths dropped open. It was a treasure map. The map had a drawing of the village, the lighthouse, and a large X marked near an old oak tree by the cliffs. "Do you think this is real?" Sam asked, his voice full of excitement. Lily examined the map carefully. "I don't know, but there's only one way to find out." Their parents smiled and shook their heads. "You two are always on an adventure," their father said. "Just be careful." The next morning, after breakfast, Lily and Sam packed a small bag with a shovel, a flashlight, and some snacks. Then, they set off towards the cliffs. The cliffs were about a 15-minute walk from their house. The path was rocky, with seagulls flying above and waves crashing against the shore below. The wind was strong, making their hair fly in different directions. "There's the oak tree," Sam pointed ahead. The old oak tree stood alone near the edge of the cliff, its thick roots buried deep into the ground. Its branches stretched wide, casting long shadows over the grass. Lily unfolded the map and checked the directions. "The X is supposed to be near the tree. Let's start digging." Sam grabbed the small shovel from their bag and started digging while Lily helped with her hands. The ground was a bit hard, but after a few minutes, Sam's shovel hit something. "Thud!" Lily gasped. "Did you hear that?" Sam nodded excitedly and dug faster. Soon, they uncovered a small wooden box with a rusty metal lock on it. The box looked old and worn out. "Wow, we actually found something," Lily said. "But how do we open it?" Sam asked, shaking the box. Lily looked around and spotted a small key buried in the dirt nearby. She picked it up, wiped off the dirt, and tried to fit it into the lock. It was a perfect match. With a soft click, the lock opened. Sam held his breath as Lily slowly lifted the lid. Inside, they found a collection of old gold coins, a few small jewels, and a folded letter. Lily picked up the letter and read it aloud. "To the one who finds this treasure, this belongs to the brave heart who follows the map and never gives up. The coins may not be worth much today, but they are part of an old sailor's story. I was once a traveler, sailing across the oceans. I buried this here many years ago, so that one day, someone with a spirit of adventure would find it. If you are reading this, know that the true treasure is not in gold, but in the journey itself." Captain Elias Storm. Lily and Sam looked at each other in amazement. "A real pirate left this here," Sam whispered. "Not a pirate, but a sailor," Lily corrected. "But this is still amazing." They took the box and hurried back home, eager to show their parents. Their father examined the coins and jewels. "These look very old, but I think they might be valuable," he said. Their mother smiled. "More than the treasure, I think you both found something more important, an adventure you'll never forget." That night, as Lily and Sam lay in their beds, they couldn't stop thinking about the treasure hunt. "Do you think there are more hidden treasures in the village?" Sam asked. "Maybe," Lily said, grinning. "But even if there aren't, we can always make our own adventures." And from that day on, they never stopped looking for mysteries to solve and stories to uncover, because adventure was always just around the corner.